That sounds like, across so many markets that, there's probably lots of different product ops and even kind of marketing nuances within each market, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we were getting started, we were two Americans trying to market this English education product to places all over the world. And as you can imagine, we weren't very good at it, right? We had no idea how to market to Korea or to Brazil or Turkey, right? And so I think that was it was a big unlock for us to figure out how to start to do that. And effectively, the strategy we took is we hired really amazing country managers that were from the country, understood the language, the culture, and gave them kind of a broad scope of hey, can you make this product grow in your market, and gave them a lot of ownership, a lot of autonomy, and not just did they understand the language and the culture, but they also kind of knew what are the growth channels that are going to work in that market. And so that's the strategy that we kind of explored pretty early on. Literally our first hire at the company, we were two ex-Google software engineers, and employee number one was a Korea country manager. It's pretty odd makeup for a 30-person team. And at the time, we'd been really interested in Korea. We'd gone there and spent a few weeks there just to study the market after a bunch of people told us that they're really crazy about English education. But we had 2 customers in Korea or something. Literally, we made no progress there. And then we hired this Korea country manager, and within a few months, it was our top market. And so I think as entrepreneurs, you can imagine, you look at that and you're like, whoa, that worked. Okay, we got to do that again. And so, we've built out, now we have 10 plus country managers, markets that have scaled immensely, 100x since we hired those folks. And so, we've come a long way, but I think that was actually a really big unlock for us to figure out kind of the model that allowed us to reach our customers much more effectively.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So it sounds like your kind of market expansion kind of playbook is having a country GM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think for a business like ours, it's I remember thinking when we were hiring that Korea country manager, the first one, it was you're supposed to kind of look at your team and figure out, okay, where are the holes? What are the gaps? And how do I fill those gaps? And I remember thinking I could spend the next 10 years studying Korean and studying the culture and still be nowhere close to someone who just grew up there. And so it seemed like a really good and obvious thing for me to for a gap in the team that we wanted to fill. And so we found that, we started there, and we found that to be really, really effective. And you can't just hire anyone. They need to have the right set of skills. And they tend to be actually folks like us, who are very entrepreneurial, very scrappy. I often describe it as hey, you're launching a new company in your country. Go find your first customers, go start to develop a brand. You've got the support from headquarters where that's where product is built. That's where our tutor operations are run. But outside of that, you're launching a new thing in your country, and go do it. It's very much, I think you want the enterprising entrepreneurial type of person to do that.